My 24 female fiancé, 27 male, left me for his one that got away, but now wants me back. My fiancé and I have been together 3 years. He was my first boyfriend. We laughed, cried, worried. We were happy together. Our families had mixed really well. Our moms became close friends really fast. He was my best friend, my confidant, my support, my comfort. I looked at him and could see our future together. God, I'm even crying remembering one time we took a blanket, went outside, looked up the stars like in some book. I never thought something like this could happen to me. The man I loved could have never done anything like that to me. It all started about 2 months ago. His ex-high school sweetheart, together 7 years, moved back to our country and wanted to catch up with Mark, fake name. He told me they broke up because they were unable to sustain a long-distance relationship when she left to pursue postgraduate studies. They hadn't been in contact for about 5 years. She sent him a email. He showed it to me and was completely platonic. She was just curious about what he had become. He asked me if he could meet her and I said yes. I trusted him, so he went. But when he came back, he was a bit withdrawn. He is usually really chatty, but he was dismissive when I asked him how it went, etc. I let it go. However, the following week, he was often on his phone. He picked random fights with me and didn't look me in the eyes when we had intimacy. Didn't whisper loving words either. I'm really touchy, clingy in our 3 years together. He had never once recoiled or refused my embrace, but he started doing it. I usually hug him like a koala when he comes back home from work. I'm a bit childish, I know, but he only let me do it twice. It was such a sudden change. I asked him what was wrong, but he just said he wasn't feeling too good nowadays. On Saturday, I went to visit his grandma, as we usually knit together. She taught me, and I was gone the whole day. I feel really close to her because she adopted me easily and reminds me of my own, who died when I was in high school. When I came back, I found him packing his stuff. My whole world fell apart. He was being so cowardly. He told me he was sorry for making me suffer like this, but sometimes life gives you a second chance and you have to recognize it for what it is. That he loved me, but when he met his ex, he realized the feelings weren't the same. He said he regretted letting her go, that he had found himself again, that it had been a difficult choice for him, but he had to take this chance. His ex wanted him back. She had realized what she had lost and risked losing for good when he told her he was getting married. He supposedly refused her at first, but as time passed and they talked together, his old feelings came back. He hoped I would forgive him one day and understand. I cried as he was talking. It sounds stupid, but it was if it was a stranger in front of me. He said he would still pay rent and part of the bills until our lease was up and I can find another place. He makes a lot more than me, and I wouldn't be able to afford living in an apartment on my own. I begged him not to make this mistake, that he was being fooled by an idolized memory of their past together, that he was having cold feet, but he was like a wall. He didn't even look at me. At about 10 p.m., there was a truck outside with one of his friends waiting for him. He apparently came to help him move. I wasn't really close with that particular friend, but he did seem sorry for me. Mark hugged me goodbye and left. I hadn't cried that hard in years. I slept in our spare room not to feel the emptiness of our room with his things gone. I sung to the deepest pathetic and tried to call him, but it went to voicemail. I had no idea where he went, but assumed he was now living with his ex after 3 weeks of talking again. How ridiculous. I'm really lucky to have supportive friends and family. My best friend even moved in for 5 days. My parents wanted me back home with them, but I wasn't ready to leave. Mark is a bit messy and I'm a manic, so it felt weird having everything perfectly neat. I missed his messiness. It was as if he was the one making our house a home. He used to joke about me wanting the house to look like it was on sale or in a catalog. Now waking up to make breakfast, not seeing him read lying on the sofa while I studied felt weird. Not buying his favorite snack or powdered proteins when doing groceries felt weird. I felt really lost at first. It was like grieving. Usually when people break up, their relationship was going south, but to me it came out of nowhere. I still loved him. I was still planning the wedding and working on my side to build our future together. It was all gone in a day. I wish I had been smarter and refused to meet his one that got away. His family was dumbfounded. I still went to see his grandma and she told me he was a fool, that he would come back crying to me. She was the first person who managed to make me laugh. His mom, my mom, and I started making calls to cancel our reservations. Luckily, the store accepted to take back the dress. We didn't pay much for the location as we canceled early. Next was to inform the guest. He had been gone for about 3 weeks then. His family was furious with him, so they didn't contact him much. The only contact I had with him was the signed check he made to cover the wedding cancellation. However, about a week ago, I received a letter from him. He apologized for leaving me like this. He said he made the biggest mistake of his life, that he couldn't even believe what he had done, that he was writing me this letter because he didn't have the courage to face me. You were right. I was running after a perfect relationship that had never existed. I regret it so much. I thought I was in love with her, but in reality, I was in love with what she represented. My younger self with no responsibility and only dreams. I had cold feet and got afraid of moving forward into this new segment of my life. I couldn't stop thinking about you when I was with her. She's not you. She doesn't know me or love me like you. She doesn't smell like you. I missed hearing you sing randomly throughout the day. I missed having someone nagging me to pick up stuff. I missed planning Halloween parties for the kids with you. At the time I'm writing this letter, we would have probably been decoration shopping had I not been a fool. Everyone told me, but I was being blindfold. I would do anything to go back in the past and slap some sense into myself. I would do anything for you to forgive me. I know we would already start canceling everything, but I'm ready to pay for everything myself. You can date someone else to even score if you want, as long as you come back to me. I would write the whole letter, but I'm only the audacity he has. Oh my god. I would write the whole letter, but on my iPad and it's tiring. I just gave the important parts. He kept on apologizing and begging me to forgive him. Now I told my family, left friends out for the moment, and his mom and grandma. Grandma had a very satisfying told you so moment. However, she is rooting me to forgive him. His mom was supposed to send a formal letter to guests to tell them the wedding was off, but now he's waiting for my answer. I don't know what to do. I love him with all my heart, but what he did to me, I don't know if I can get over it. He made me feel worthless. He threw me away as if there was no one if I was no one to him after 3 years. He gave up on us for some ghost from his past when we were at our happiest. If he can leave me when we were doing good, how will we sustain a marriage? Will he leave the moment things get hard? He hurt me so badly and expect me to forgive him? He wants us to meet on Sunday, but I'm not sure. I'm willing to. I need some perspectives. What would you do in my situation? Okay, this is so much. Anyways, if he was willing to throw you away in a couple of weeks because of some person from his past that came back around, imagine what he's gonna do when later in life you guys were married for years, you gave him your youth, you gave him your time, you gave him all the effort, and you're probably gonna give him children. What he's gonna do if he meets somebody whom he thinks he's in love with, or somebody who's like going to give him a different perspective, because you know how men be going through a midlife crisis, a different perspective or outlook on life, and then boom, he's gonna ditch you, which is even gonna break your heart, because now it's only been 3 years. But later in life, when you guys are married for a longer time, you invested all this time and effort, you invested having children, all these things, I suggest you would just leave him alone. I feel like OP just needs to leave this man alone. And imagine, like, he's only coming back to you and wants you to forgive him because the woman wasn't what he wanted. It wasn't what he expected. Had she been what he expected and what he wanted, he would have been there right now. He wouldn't want you back. So I think that's also a different perspective. But this was a very long story. What do you guys think? Make sure to leave your comments in the comment section. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.